Okay. Hey, good evening. Good evening. Jessica Carter, the Peaceful Billionaire here. And I am just going to share with you. It has been a day. It has been a day here at Chateau E at the Peaceful Billionaire household. It has been a bit of a day. I am going to keep things pretty darn brief tonight. I just finished going live not too long ago and went live actually a little bit longer than I anticipated because it has been a day and I was tired, and also it was like another one of those days where I'm like, oh my gosh, it's been such a long and crazy day and it's 10 o'clock and I still haven't gone live and all I want to do is curl up on my couch and like chill out and go to bed soon. But I'm like, no, just gonna go live and do my vlog and get it done, and then I'm gonna chill and relax. But so I've just been completely off the track since 4:30 this afternoon. Had a bit of a worry, a bit of a scare that Jupiter, my little fella here, my sweet little boy, some concern that he might have eaten a grape, which if you happen to be a dog mom, a pet parent, you may or may not know, but if you are a pet parent, it's important to know that that grapes are extremely toxic for dogs, can put them into kidney failure and can actually cause death. So I wasn't sure if he ate a grape or not, but I didn't want to risk it, so I gave some hydrogen peroxide, which apparently everybody, the vets are saying that they're now telling people not to do anymore, but it's something that I've known that you could do. I've done for my dogs here or there, very sporadically over the years when it was necessary. But I gave him some hydrogen peroxide, and unfortunately it did not make him throw up, and I just didn't want to risk it because, of course, heaven forbid, right, if I just was like, oh, he's fine, and then 2 days from now if he was super sick, and then I had to take him to the vet and something was wrong, or heaven forbid something worse that would have happened to him, I certainly wouldn't have been able to forgive myself. So I decided to just err on the side of caution, and when I hit the table, and when the peroxide didn't work, I called the vet and I took him to the emergency vet. So, oh my goodness, I'm sorry. So that took a while, and I haven't been home for long. And let's see. Well, so I learned something new today. Which is make sure your dogs don't eat grapes. No, I'm kidding. I learned something new today. What I learned was, that apparently on YouTube, that videos that you upload get a lot more views than lives, which I find to be, I don't know, interesting. I don't know why it makes so much of a difference, but apparently it does. And so I'm always sharing with people on my lives to like check out my vlog, and I was like, oh, well, I didn't realize I should be sharing with people on my vlog, like to check out my lives, right? Because what you're getting in my vlog is my daily behind the scenes journey, right? This path to unprecedented levels of wealth and success in a short period of time, right? And as that continues to unfold, like I'm, just going to continue to divulge all of the nitty gritty of that, and also sharing what's required internally and externally for that, right? But when I go live, I'm teaching, right? So there's mind, money, success, mastery. So I do drop some wisdom and pearls when I'm talking behind the scenes, but I'm also dropping like mad wisdom and diamonds and pearls whenever I go live. So if you're enjoying my vlog, then you'll definitely enjoy the lives well. So I encourage you to check those out. One of the things that I taught is like net time, so no extra time. So you can listen when you're walking the dogs, when you're driving in the car, utilizing times that you could listen to something while you're doing something else. But anyways, so yeah, my brain is kind of tired. Oh my goodness. Just with this whole concern. Thankfully he's fine, and he's already like eaten and drank something since we've been home, and so everything seems to be well. I can't think of, yeah, this just has my brain so this just has my brain so fried that I can't even really think of anything pertinent from a business perspective to update on today. Like I said, well, I learned that about the YouTube channel, learned how to use several new AI tools, and I reconnected with one of my joint venture partners, and it was great to catch up with him because we both had some alterations to make to the dates that we had set up with each other, so that worked out really well. And yesterday I had a really valuable conversation with a friend of mine who does sales and sales teams and things like that. So I'm grateful to have her as a friend because I got to pick her brain, which was super valuable. And so giving some thought to utilizing a sales team versus hiring my own. I have talked to some other companies in the past, and I shared with her who I had talked to and what the percentage was that they had quoted me, which was 30%, and she said that's actually like top of industry standard. So industry standard is between 10 and 30%. And so she said 30% is definitely at that highest end. She said, do they charge anything up front? And I said, no. She said, well, that's part of why their back end percentage is so high. She said, however, that's like definitely top of standard. And I was like, okay. And oh my goodness. Again, I apologize. I said I was so like ready to veg for just a little bit and then get myself to bed. But so but the mentor that I'm implementing her system right into my business, she hired her and trained her own sales team. So she has a sales manager and then two other people on her sales team. And so that was one of the things, and I can't even remember if I mentioned it or not, but that was one of the things that I found out. Oh, well, I just found out yesterday that when I start doing my events with her system, that I need to have at least one salesperson. And so I was like, oh gosh, like do I attempt to bring on a sales team? Do I just bring on a salesperson? And so I was sitting down and going over the profit margins, and for a period of time while I'm doing my training and learning this system, I am doing a quite significant and generous revenue share with her, and which is fine, right? Because I'm growing and scaling my business in a way in a much shorter period of time, right? I'm collapsing time, and and that's there's an investment anytime you're working with any high level mentors and in a program, right? And doing something that's going to collapse time for you and your business, right? There's always an investment required. Those investments tend to be higher, which is more than justified. But I was just looking over the profit margins now, like factoring in, in the beginning, factoring in like the rev share with her, and now I'm like factoring in, like some form of something being paid to a salesperson, and then the way my program is designed, like I have other like contracted like practitioners who provide part of the service and the transformation like within my program, which is insanely valuable, right? But that's also that's something that I'm like paying out. So I'm sitting there like kind of calculating the profit margins, and I'm going, I really have to, pardon me, like I might have to like tweak and revamp a couple of things, at least in the beginning while I'm doing this rev share. I'm like, because if I'm not careful, like I'm gonna end up in the red. I'm gonna end up in that is not the goal, right? So I'm having a closer look at those, and making some adjustments where necessary, but that actually is not taking anything away. It's more just navigating what it is that I provide at the level that I provide it at, but navigating in a different way, while I'm doing the revenue share. And I think part of that is going to mean, I'm still mapping it out. I haven't reached a 100% firm, yes, this is how I'm going to do it yet. But basically creating like a ramp up where with my salesperson while they're training, and we're growing together, right? So they're starting at a smaller commission percentage that will then increase as time moves forward. Like once I complete that rev share commitment, then we'll revise the percentage for the salesperson. Similarly for my contracted practitioners, negotiating with them a bit of a lower rate for this initial, for a period of time, this rev up time, window of time. And then same thing for them, things will go up once I'm beyond the rev share mark. And then also during that time, one of the things that I was going to have the practitioners monitor and do, perhaps in the beginning for a little bit, I might do those instead. So just navigating different ways to still lead with generosity and prosperity for anyone who is contracted and providing a service for my business and for my clients, and also doing that without taking anything away from what my program provides and what that value is and the time that the clients are getting, etc. So again, it was me thinking in a way of, okay, how do I navigate this, temporarily in a way that is like a win-win, that I'm leading with generosity and prosperity for everyone involved, while still, completely protecting what it is that I've, created for my clients to have, for them to have the most time and the most high touch and the most transformational experience. So that's full transparency, right? I mean, the conversation in my head was, well, maybe you take this away, or maybe you do this, and I'm like, no. Right, that was kind of a non-negotiable of like what I want to provide, the level, and the quality and the level of personalization, and and just really high touch, quality service that I want to provide for my client in this particular program. I'm like, no, that I won't change, that I won't sacrifice. I will find a different way to navigate this temporarily, again, so that I'm still leading with generosity and prosperity, that it's still a win-win for everyone involved. And so oh my goodness gracious, again, I'm so sorry. I will give it a little bit more thought when my brain is not tired, and but I think I'm pretty clear and pretty firm on that. And now it's just a matter of having the conversations with my consulting members, and getting everything lined up and ready. But anyways, so I am going to bid you adieu and stop what is going to turn into rambling if I don't zip it, because I can feel my eyes tired. I've yawned 3 times. I feel like I never yawn. So I am going to bid you good night, sending you much prosperity and much peace. Again, wishing you just the absolute best evening, and I shall see you tomorrow. Jessica Carter, the Peaceful Billionaire, Mission to Billions vlog, day 18. Good night.